They zoomed in on me. I'm too fast for you.
What's up, guys? We are back for another vlog. We got mostly everything cleaned up on the car. We're getting ready to paint the interior, which I'm really excited about because that's one of the huge turning points in this whole build that will allow us to finish the wiring, finish the whole interior, which is mostly everything left, and paint some stuff like the radiator saddle, some other odds and ends so I can finish putting the engine back together. A bunch of exciting stuff, so let's jump into that. So, the inside is clean, dash is out, doors are off, wiring's cleaned up right there. I just gotta tape off some fittings too and tape off this stuff. That's what I'm in the process of now, is taping off the car. Basically what I wanna do is do plastic everything below the pillar. I'm just gonna actually tape the whole pillar, plastic the roof, cut a hole in the center here, and then tape around the sunroof just so I can paint through the sunroof. Same thing back here. I want to be able to paint through the window, so I'm going to plastic like top of this because I definitely need to be able to paint all this. I'm going to have no plastic or anything here. Yeah, it's pretty much what's going down, just taping everything off. I correct my previous statement of sanding is the worst part of bodywork and paint. Taping off is now my worst enemy. There's something about it that I'm just not a fan of because everything you do is like, I mean, it's your paint lines, it's precise. I'm so glad this is a race car, not a show car, but let's keep taping stuff off. Another thing we're gonna jump into is wire brushing and Scotch-Brighting the cage. I'm definitely gonna like Scotch-Brite and scuff up the whole inside as well, but to clean up, you know, any imperfections or like residue or anything on the cage, and then Scotch-Brite everything. And then as far as the welds go, you can see here how it's like pretty cleaned up. I didn't grind it or anything. All I used was basically a drill with this wire wheel on it, and it cleans it up like super nice. Gets rid of any little BBs or leftover slag that's there. So highly recommend this. Alright, so we got all the welds cleaned up with the wire wheel, the whole cage Scotch-Brighted, the whole inside vacuumed. I'm gonna Scotch-Brite it one more time just to get anything else that's not cooperating off. So we're looking pretty good on the inside. I still have to tape some things up in the front here, but everything's looking pretty solid to move on. I'm almost to the point where I can start putting plastic over everything. I'm just waiting. My pops is welding in the dimple plates right now, which came out super nice on the water jet. Really hyped about this. And here we are. Everything's taped up, plasticed, protected. I got a bunch of just like 1/4-20 bolts in the nutserts so that I don't have to chase the threads. Next step is to wipe the whole inside down with Xylene. And the first thing we're gonna do is self-etch prime the cage and any raw metal spots. Then once that's all done, then we'll start laying the gray. So let's do it. So now we got everything taped off, ready to paint. Before we can do that, we have to build a paint booth. There's a lot of stuff in the shop, more than just this car and more than just my stuff. So to solve that problem, we're gonna do like a DIY budget paint booth build with 1-inch PVC pipe. It was $1.69 for a 10-foot stick. We got 17 sticks at 10 feet, cut how many down to 8 feet? 6 down to 8 feet. Got a bunch of couplers. So basically we're just gonna fit that all together, build a paint booth over the car, and then use this wrap right here and just some masking to tape it off. And hopefully that'll keep the overspray to the confines of the area around this car. So as much as I wanna film painting the inside of this car with building a booth and having everything confined and no ventilation or anything like that. I don't want my camera to be anywhere in here, so I'm gonna give it to you guys in stages. Like I said a little bit ago, the first thing that we're gonna do is self-etch primer all the raw metal. So that's all the cage, the boxes, and then any spots that I grounded here and there throughout the interior. So step one. All right, so we just laid the primer, the self-etching primer on the entire cage and any raw metal spots. It looks pretty good, not bad. There's little runs every now and then when I'm trying to get in a tight spot and I just like kind of spray it, but if you can't paint it, you can't see it. So it's always something to remember. Everything looks pretty good. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit. We got a fan right here, sucking out all the fumes and everything, hopefully going outside. So most of the fumes and dust have settled. Hopefully no dust. But here is the self-etching primered cage. I got everywhere, had to blast a few spots that I missed, but for the most part everything looks pretty good. So now I'm probably gonna tack the trunk and lay color in the whole trunk before I move on to the main part over there. The gray has been laid. Let's go check it out. Here you have it. Painted interior. Took a decent amount of time. There's certain stuff like some parts of the back, some parts of the top of these angled bars have some dry spray on them. The door jambs a little bit, but for the most part, for a race car, it looks pretty stellar for just a spray paint job inside a $56 paint booth. All right, the car is painted, everything's good. Paint booth is down. Now that this whole inside is all taken care of, everything that goes in here can finally be for final installation. What we're jumping off right into is this is like Troy's whole electrical panel deal. And Sam made this really nice plate to mount everything that lines up with the tunnel, but we just got to make some brackets to mount it in. So my dad's busting out that. Gonna throw the dash back in, and Troy's coming here, so I got to get everything ready for him so he can continue working on wiring. We just tossed in the Hard Motorsports firewall panel. I still got to tighten it yet. All the holes line up and it comes with the hardware, which is really cool. But after we tighten it, there's still going to be this gap on the top. So I'll probably throw like 2 tech screws just holding that in, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. And then we got this panel all mounted and solid, pretty cool. Got the hydro in, all tightened down, and then we got just a little P-clamp to hold the brake lines. It's coming together. Dash has been put in. Found a spot for the hazard switch right there. Mounted the gauge bezels underneath. There's gonna be 3 more on top. I'm still waiting for those to come. I mounted these ones down here now just because I don't want to take the dash back out. Looking good. Next thing I'm gonna do is wrap this is like the rear firewall panel. I was just gonna paint it like the same gray as the interior. I decided not to, so I'm just gonna wrap it the black sparkly, the color that the car was. Wrapped and good to go. It's so shiny. That is it. That is a wrap. Things are falling into place. We're getting into finally the reassembly of the car. I'm really hyped on how the paint turned out. It just finally feels, that was one thing that was missing in the car that I'm glad we were finally able to bring together. I got some big news for next video. We're gonna have the color reveal. We got some more news. There's a surprise, which is gonna just affect the whole channel, and I'm really excited about it. But that's it for today. So like, comment, subscribe. Check out CoryTalaska.com. Check out my Instagram at CoryTalaska. Finally, we'll be able to stop posting black and white Instagram pics after the next vlog. So be ready. Peace.